this is more of a, yeah. We're back on the Morning Brew with friends, and we are going to have some cookies here. These look so good, Mike, the pink pack cookies. Yes. But I want to talk to you guys about this. I love this, that this is your second company, is the cookie shop.
Correct.
And your first company was the trolley.
That's right.
And in your first company, really, outside of IQ and doing stuff, for other people, this is the jewelry is your first company.
Yes.
And Curious Town is your first company.
It is my first.
And
no, it's not my first.
No, you had the tanning salon.
I had the tanning
you
salon.
owned a tanning salon years ago. I forgot about that.
Don't come after me.
But what I love about this is there's a challenge to starting your own business, And how did you end up making the leap yourself, Mike, going from Mike the musician to Mike the guy who owned the trolley company, and now Mike the guy that started the cookie shop? What was it? Would you just find that there wasn't anybody you wanted to work with? There wasn't anybody that you wanted to work for? You just decided this was something you wanted to do? How did you come to that personally?
For me, it was probably the kind of breaking point, so to speak, was when I met my business partner at the trolley.
Jesse.
Yeah, we had a good kind of connection, and we decided we wanted to do something together. So we planned for a couple of years to actually make it happen. So I think without him, I don't know if I would have had the push to get it done. But then once we connected, and we were both kind of motivated to do our own thing, and we didn't want to work for anybody anymore.
Right.
So he and I coming together was kind of the push for me to get out there and just do something different.
And with that, did he have the idea and you think it was crazy?
No, so the idea was born, funny enough, we tell this story all the time. We knew we wanted to do something. We didn't know what it was.
Right, and you guys both love Albuquerque.
We both loved Albuquerque. We had both worked at the Convention and Visitors Bureau. And the idea was born at Taco Cabana.
Excellent.
On the west side.
Excellent.
Over chips and salsa.
Really?
And Diet Cokes.
Yeah,
that's the story.
That's excellent.
Wow. That's
love
the story.
that.
We were just talking ideas, and at the end of the day, a city tour company was what we wanted to do. So.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
How many hours does that take?
6 hours.
6 hours. Wow.
That's a lot of
That's a lot of chips, man. And Diet Cokes, we swear, it was Diet Cokes.
Only Diet Cokes.
Only Diet Cokes. Got to keep the mind for it.
And you guys are buddies.
And we're good friends. Unlike
There's always that dynamic.
Yeah, like in almost every circumstance, we've butted heads a little bit, but we both, I think, bring unique skill sets to the partnership.
Good.
So I know where to defer to him.
know when to back away from one another.
Exactly.
Well, what'd your wife think? It is a big kind of life-changing moment when you decide to do that. And I think there's a barrier for a lot of people is that your significant other is worried that what if it doesn't work out, especially if you've got, plans for a family, that kind of stuff. What'd your wife think when you...
She thought I was crazy.
Really?
She was not...
How do you convince her?
Yeah. She initially thought I was a little crazy leaving a guaranteed paycheck every 2 weeks and the benefits and the life of kind of comfort. But the great thing was that she saw the vision and she saw the plan, and so she kind of decided she was going to, ride it out with me.
That's
She
cool.
married a guy in a band.
Yeah, she married a guy in a
musician.
She knew.
So she kind of knew, I guess. So she kind of wrote it out with me and was really supportive, and she helped quite a bit, actually.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you go through a phase where you transitioned into the trolley, or did you just...
Yeah, I stayed at the job that I was at prior to the trolley for about a year and a half. I was at the job, and then I was working on the trolley. And then when I decided to actually break it off with the other company, I actually had wanted to stay there part-time. They wouldn't let me. So that kind of was like, it was go at that point.
That's
so
crazy.
I was all in after that.
So when you hear these stories, and you hear these stories like Mike's, is that for somebody who's just starting, you're really like just 3 months into doing this full-time now?
Yep, that's right.
Is this the kind of thing that you're like, oh my God, what am I doing? Or are you thinking,
Yeah. It's definitely a risky move, and
different from the first time around.
it's so different. I'm in such a different place in my life.
Yeah.
That, more mature.
Yeah.
So many things are different, but it's a risky thing to do for sure, and it's exciting.
Going into the entrepreneurship world.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah, and Steve, we were talking earlier before the show. We saw that Leishman's had closed.
Yeah.
Which is a sad thing. We see all these local businesses closing. And we think about, they were around for 40 years here in Albuquerque for 30, 35. And then, it's all the old names, the American Furnitures of the world and all of those.
Eckert's.
All of the old stores like that you think of, right? So how do we go forward and make entrepreneurs like Mike, like Shayla, how do we get their stories out and talk to them?
You do it like Knob Hill is doing, and like changing a few things that you do every once in a while, staying open on Thursday nights. Social media has changed everything. Pop-ups, Shayla's pop-up things were phenomenal over the holiday. That's a whole new dynamic.
The stuff
it's
that when
'cause
you
of time
have,
now.
Right.
yeah, the Tractor and Marble Brewery shows, where you just show up and say, here's my stuff.
You walk into a coffee shop and there's stuff for you to look at.
And
Right.
it benefits the business and it benefits me,
Yeah.
obviously. So,
Right.
And it becomes a social interaction too, which is kind of
Yes.
coolness of it.
Right.
You need to do one of those at Rude Boy.
Right.
absolutely.
Let's
Cookies
do
Tell me
it.
when.
Cookies
And
and
before I
George.
forget, I want to try one of these here. Let's try this, because we got chocolate and sugar.
Chocolate red velvet and sugar cookies.
All right, Mike.
Yeah. And the
Pick one.
logo's
I'm
edible.
ready.
I'm good.
The logo's edible.
Yes.
I'm good. I think are we all going chocolate red velvet? No, Steve's going sugar cookie.
Yeah.
I got to try one of these. And these, how do you do
This
the
is
logos?
my go-to.
Are these like done on a printer?
Yeah, we have a custom printer that will actually
so cool.
print
It-
the logos.
it
on
actually
they're
can
edible.
print a
Yes,
logo.
It's pretty.
sugar.
So you can do any business.
This is
Any
gorgeous.
business. We do a
That's
lot
great.
of logo cookies for businesses. It's one of the best successes we've had so far is the logo cookies. We can do, if you have a logo, we can put it on a cookie.
Wow.
These are great.
Thank you.
How much?
Wow.
Yeah. Fun, huh?
Yeah, these cookies are $3 with $1 going to the Pink Pack Foundation.
Right. And the Pink Pack Foundation, just remind me real quick of what
Delish.
that is. 'Cause
Yeah,
it was
that-
started by a local basketball player.
Local basketball player started it to fight cancer in New Mexico. He wanted to keep all the money here in New Mexico, which is great. Hugh Greenwood, beloved guy at
yeah.
the university. And we wanted to partner with him in some way and cookies, Pink Pack, and sell some Pink Pack cookies, and they've been great. Worked a lot with his Pink Pack. I guess she's the organizer, runs it, Kirsten. She's been great.
Sounds great to me.
Been fun.
So I've been wondering too. We were talking in the headline section earlier about Uber and Lyft.
Yeah.
Do you guys, you guys are a transportation carrier at the trolley with the
Right.
bike now. Are those kinds of issues that Uber and Lyft are facing in fighting the state? Are they similar to what you guys had to face when you launched the trolley? Or is this something entirely different?
You know, when we started the trolley, it took from idea to actual trolley on the streets was 2 years.
Wow.
And a good year of that was having to deal with the state.
Really?
Yeah. So I think our dealings with the state were a little bit different than what they're dealing with, but it was a very cumbersome process. At the end of the day, we actually had to go to Santa Fe and sit in on a PRC hearing to try to get our thing finally approved. And it was. There were a couple times, I'll be quite honest with you, where we were both like, it's not going to work. We just can't seem to get over this
These hurdles.
Yeah, it was just really tough and kind of beat you down a little bit. The
Right.
process. Not
trying
very
not to get
inviting.
fed up.
Yeah, not to
Process
get
too,
fed
yeah.
up and just quit. But we stayed true and we got it done.
That's good. And Uber and Lyft are facing that now. Maybe this new law that may be going to the Senate right now, maybe it'll help get at least those guys off the ground
Sure.
and start some new stuff.
Yeah.
We're back in a couple of seconds with more on the Morning Brew, though. We'll talk a little bit more about cookies and jewelry and Steve the Curious Townie and a little bit more on the Morning Brew with friends.
Where I'll be on Saturday.
Yes.